As members of the Global Farmer Network,
we believe agriculture is part of the solution,
not part of the problem.
We are committed to developing agricultural leaders
and sharing their stories across the globe.
We have one purpose:
to amplify the farmer's voice.
My voice.
Mi voz.
La mia voce.
My voice.
Welcome to Global Farmer Voices, a podcast by the Global Farmer Network, where we invite farmers from around the world to share their stories and perspectives. Hello, I'm Delaney Howell, host for this podcast series, and today we're taking our conversation to Germany. Markus Holtkoetter is a German farmer with an impressive lineage, spanning over 11 generations. Markus is also the 2023 recipient of the prestigious Kleckner Global Farm Leader Award. Today, we'll take a look at Markus's farming background, some of the challenges and opportunities he's had farming in Germany, and his ability and passion to take it to the global stage as he travels and shares his story with fellow farmers, policymakers, consumers, and others who are impacted by the world of agriculture. Markus's strong family farming heritage, again spanning back over 11 generations, made farming the clear career choice for him. He began the process of becoming a farmer the same way any other aspiring farmer does in Germany, by taking the German certification test.
For me, it was as a child, it was clear that I'll become a farmer. So I do the normal way to become a farmer in Germany. So we have normally after school, you have a 3-year or 2-year training program. So you go to different farms. So every year you change the farm. And one day in the week you go to farming school, and after the 3 years you make a test and then you are a farmer. Then you can say in Germany you have a license to farm. And after that I go to university in Osnabrück for studying agriculture.
Okay, so in Germany you have to actually take a test to become a farmer.
Yes. So we have that's a lot of rules, especially with crop protection and so on. And so for spraying pesticides, you had to make a test. So when you become a farmer, then this test is included, and that's for a couple of more things like that. So then it makes sense to become a farmer, but when you can farm without becoming a farmer, but you cannot call you as a farmer. So because you have not the certificate for that. And that's for a lot of special things. It's easier, or it makes sense to take this test, this normal way to become a farmer. So it's only these 3 years. With a test at the end, and then you can farm, no problem. But most of them go to university or to special farm schools for 2 or 3 years.
Markus mentioned that after completing their education, many new farmers return to their family farms or choose to work for other farmers or companies in the agricultural industry. Markus found himself starting a cattle farm with his father. And today their farm includes cattle and pigs, as well as several other crops.
I started farming with my dad together. At the same time, I run in Osnabrück. So I'm traveling every day. It's not so far away from our farm. And start with farming in the first years, only sows, a little bit cattle. Then only sows, we grow up with a sow barn. A few years later, I rent a big barn fit for fattening pigs. So we have a closed system. We produce the piglets, fattening them, and bring them to the market. So, and also we farm winter wheat, winter barley, corn, and winter rapeseed or canola.
Today, Markus has his own children who are beginning to get involved in the farm, and he suspects at least one of them will return to the farm and continue their rich lineage that has gone on for so many generations before them.
Yeah, I think the second one, he's very interesting in farming. The first one is also interesting in farm stuff, but more in driving with a tractor. But the second one is more a typical farmer. He loves to work with animals. He loves livestock farming. He's very interesting in farming and to understand what's happened on the field and what's happened with crop protection, what's happened when you're fertilizing with manure. So we have livestock, so we mostly fertilizing with manure. So you see in my background, the manure tanker. So that's typical for our area. So he's very interesting in that. Yeah, I think he will become a farmer. And I talked to him, yeah, do that. But make the training first, then study, and then you will go out of Germany for 1 or 2 years and see what's farming around the world.
As Marcus has continued to open his eyes to new opportunities and experiences, taking the center stage at many big events, he's realized the importance of seeing the world beyond Germany and has encouraged his son to travel outside of Germany and get agricultural experiences before returning to the farm. Since farming in Germany can be difficult due to strict regulations, he hopes that experiences like this will help his son gain a new perspective of the industry and become more aware of farming opportunities in the rest of the world.
It's very important because we have so many special and sometimes very stupid rules in Germany in the last years, more and more. So that makes it for farming very difficult, especially when you farm with animals. And especially you are a farmer with pigs or with chicken. So there are so many new rules. So you build a stable, and normally it's that in Germany that you pay the stable in 15 years, 15 or 20 years. But when they change the rules every 5 years, there's no chance to make money. So you have to invest. So that's the money you get, you have invested. So that's for my opinion at the moment. I will see what he had to see, what's interesting for him. Maybe it could be that he decided, okay, farming, yes, but maybe not in Germany. But it's no problem for me.
The European Union is a vast and diverse region, both geographically as well as politically, and has had to grapple with numerous policy challenges. Countries within the EU have certainly faced their fair share of challenges when trying to adopt some of these policies coming from lawmakers outside of the agricultural space. Marcus sheds some light on the current political landscape, specifically in Germany, and how these policies are impacting farmers.
At the moment, our government is a green government. So we have Greens who are leading the agriculture ministry. So our agriculture minister is one from the Green Party, and he has no understanding for farming. So he has no idea what farming is and how it works. So he's in a way very logical, and so at the moment it makes it not easy to discuss a lot of problems around what comes from the EU. But we can see that other countries more and more change their mind. So we can be a hope that in 5 years it's totally different. And that's for, if my son starts now next year with training program and so on, it's 5 or 6 years when he's ready and he makes his decision what to do. And so I hope that in this future it becomes more scientific-based discussion and more fact-based decision and laws about how we have to farm.
Some of these policies that Marcus just touched on there, as well as various geopolitical issues, including the Ukrainian war and consumer preference for cheaper options in the grocery store, has impacted the way that the Holtkoetter farm operates. And while they are temporarily halted in their livestock production, Marcus has hopes to reinvest in the livestock side of the business in the near future.
My last decision was we go out of livestock farming for maybe for the next few years. The idea was to build a new stable on the farm in the old buildings with the highest the animal welfare level. I had a butcher who was interested in that, pays more money for these pigs. But then the Ukrainian war starts, and more people say, okay, no, we had to hold the money in our pocket, and they're buying the cheapest things. For in the grocery store, cheap meat. Nobody is more interested in buying meat like high livestock levels, organic meats. And then the butcher calls me and say, hey, Markus, sorry, but I can give you a contract about 5 years, maybe 1 year, and this year it's not easy.
Throughout the war, Markus has also shown his support for another fellow GFN member, Ukrainian farmer Case Hausinga. Following the invasion of Russia into Ukraine, Markus immediately jumped to his feet to figure out a way he could help Case connect with fellow policymakers in the EU during that critical period.
It is extremely bad what there happened. And we had to do all what we can do to help them, because it's one is the farmers, the people in Ukraine. The next is it has a very big impact on the world food market. So it's for my side as a farmer, and when I see that's idea from the Global Farm Network, helping other farmers and bringing them to the right people, help them to connect them to the right people who can help and who can do something. And I love that. I love that to do that and talk with different guys, different farmers and politicians, explain what happens. And that was, from my understanding, when we see what our politicians think, what's happened there in the first weeks, they don't understand what's big impact will that have on the world food market, especially on wheat and corn. They don't understand that. I talked with a politician and he says, "Hey, where's the problem? You can harvest this year more winter wheat." So why? Yeah, because we need it. Yeah, but the problem is we seeded last fall, so that it seeds in October. So now we have March. It doesn't work. Okay, why? So he don't understand that what's happened, and he don't understand when I talk to him. Okay, we have wheat, but that wheat is not normally for bread. It's for pig feeding because of our rules for fertilizing pigs. And he asked, why is that with the fertilizer a problem to become bread wheat? So that there's no understanding about that. There's no understanding what's happened there. And when I was with Case at the government, and we talked to the politicians, and you can see at that moment they understand what's happened there and how big is the impact. It was silence. It was totally silence in the room, and you can see in their faces that they understand how big would be the impact and how important is it to help the farmers in Ukraine. So that's I think for me it's it helped all the farmers worldwide to do that, and talking about that. That's not only the Ukrainian war. The same thing is with pesticides, with fertilizer, why we need it, why we need modern crop protection, why we need modern seed breeding, and also why we need modern technique on our fields. So when we see now more and more people talking about climate change, I think yes, we farmer can do a lot of against climate change. But in Europe, we have a problem, especially in Germany, we have a problem. The government don't let us because our toolbox for that is not allowed in Germany. So that's sometimes it's very frustrating.
Even with all of the challenges that sometimes go on outside of Marcus's control, he continues to emphasize the importance of talking to politicians and the public about modern farming practices, such as some of those practices used on his farm. He said some of these practices are often misunderstood. He takes the opportunity when he steps on to international and domestic stages to speak about why farmers use these practices and why they should continue to have them in their toolbox.
When you see with the Global Farm Network, you had connections to so many farmers and can connect these politicians to farmers from around the world. And that was what I see, that's a lot of politicians change their mind. The only chance we have is to talk to politicians, to talk to people, explain them what's farming is now, how looks farming now, how looks modern farming. A lot of people don't think it's so many technique, it's so many high tech. When you show them a new tractor or a new combine, it's all the digital stuff, and they are totally expressive. Oh, what's that? For me, it's a passion to talk with journalists, with politicians, and with other farmers. So it's not also this is talking. So with all these meetings, you meet so many interesting people from the farming community. And in the last 10 years, 10 years, maybe in the last 5-6 years, extremely, I learned so much about farming from around the world. And that is why I'm go out and saying, say yes, do that. I learned so much about farming, and sometimes it changed my mind about farming in different countries. I see, okay, that's totally different what our journalists or our NGOs taught us. So it's very important. And so that's, I think, okay, I have now understand that. And now it's important that bring this message to our politicians or our journalists, and who can do that better as farmers from this region. So I can talk about that, but not I'm the expert in farming in Brazil or Philippines or so on. So with the Global Farm Network, it's totally easy to bring farmers from there, connect them to our politicians. So connecting farmers from around Africa to our European politicians, so that they can explain them, our politicians, what's happened, what impact will we have the Green Deal on their farms in Africa. So when I talk about that, they don't believe me. But when a farmer from there talks about that, they have to believe, because he is a farmer from there.
As Marcus hits the stage at the World Food Prize held in Des Moines, Iowa every year, he is officially being named the Global Farmer Network's 2023 Kleckner Global Farm Leader Award recipient. This award is given annually to individuals like Marcus who exemplify strong leadership, vision, and resolve in advancing the rights of all farmers to use technology and tools that will improve the quality, quantity, and availability of agricultural products and goods around the world. Marcus was certainly honored and humbled to be recognized, as well as a little surprised.
I never expected that I will be a Kleckner Award winner. So because there are so many great farmers who was given to them in the past, and that call with Mary and Reg, I had nothing to say. I was crying. Yes, because it's an extremely honor. And yes, I'm never expected, but I see that as a little bit like representative what I do. So for all the farmers around and for all the people around me who helped me to do this, so that's I can do because my wife and my family led to me to do this, and so that's it doesn't work without the family and without my wife, and my wife would say no, it doesn't work. So it could be work. So that's and the same with all the other farmers who helps with that, with connecting, bringing them together. So many people will see that with award, I will connect it to so many other people, and maybe it makes it more easier to connect more politicians in a very important position to the right people.
Well, Marcus is just getting started, we know, with everything that's in store for him and his farm, as well as his real passion for taking the center stage and advocating for agriculture. The Kleckner Award is a perfect way to honor Marcus and his work so far and encourage him to continue on his path. I'm certainly looking forward to see what he does next. If you're interested in learning more about the Global Farmer Network's mission and its members just like Marcus, seeing some of the things the organization is doing and finding out how you can get involved, please visit globalfarmernetwork.org. And if you'd like to support the Global Farmer Network through a donation, you can do so at globalfarmernetwork.org/donate. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please be sure to subscribe and follow the Global Farmer Network on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube. Until next time, I'm Delaney Howell, and this has been the Global Farmer Voices podcast.